Hey guys, so I wanted to break down a conversation that I had today with somebody who wasn't where they wanted to be in their business, as we've talked about previously, after doing it for a short time. And, she was apprehensive about putting in another 6 months of really hard work and not knowing where that was going to get her. And it reminded me of this article that I read. You guys know, like, the whole Dear Abby or Ann Landers or whatever that used to be in the newspaper. I used to read those when I was a kid, when I was eating breakfast, if I finished the comics. And I remember one, and I'll never forget it, where somebody wrote in and they said, I'm a 55-year-old woman or whatever it was, and I've always wanted to go to law school. And if I go to law school, it's going to be 3 years, and then I'll get out, and then I'll be 58. What should I do? And whoever the columnist was, they wrote back, and it was the shortest response that I had ever seen. And it just said, and how old will you be if you don't go to law school in 3 years? And it just made so much sense to me. And even though I was really young, it just always stuck with me. And I think that I thought of that analogy at that point. So not when I was talking about that topic the other day about having patience, but that really sums it up very well. And there have been times doing what I'm doing where I've wanted to quit, where I've wanted to, give up because I feel tired or I feel frustrated about where I am or where I'm not. And, one thing that I think that I was always able to really separate is, look, if I could fast forward time and just be where I wanted to be, if I could just fast forward the next year or two and just be at that certain place, would I do it? And the answer would always yes, right? The answer was always yes. Yes, I want to be owning a successful firm. Yes, if I could fast forward to that time, then I would be doing that right now. Then that means that I still want it. That means that I'm still emotionally attached to it. And I need to separate the emotion of not being where I want to be right now and continuing to work hard for where I want to be in the future, right? Because everything's going to be hard if it's worth working for. If it's worth working for, it's difficult, and you're going to go through some pain and suffering and agony in order to get there in the first place. That's why very few people have what most people want, right? For that exact reason, is that most people quit most things. Most people quit most things. So if you want to be at XYZ, ask yourself that question. And if the answer is yes, then don't stop just because it's hard. If the answer is no, then maybe your goals have really changed. And then that's really something to think about. And then that's no problem. But if the answer is yes, then keep at it and have patience with yourself and with your learning curve, and realize that no matter what it is, things take time. If I had left, pursuing a business and gone and done something else, it still would have taken years to get off the ground. Even if it was something in corporate America, or whether it was schooling, or whether it was law, or all these things that I thought about doing, it still would have taken years anyway. You can't shortcut a shortcut.